who is like I would for.
You all agree with me that Akosombo Dam is one of the biggest legacies this country, ours Ghana. It generates almost 1,200 megawatts of electricity for the nation. And it comes to a point where it's overflowing and need to be discharged to the downstream. And this is what has come out of it. This is a result of that. And you realize that these victims that are going through this, it's not anything that they have done. It's not their fault. They are going through this to save Mother Ghana. If that is not done, you realize that our country will be plunged into darkness as a matter of fact. So it rolls on us as an individual, as a corporate organizations, to come and salvage this suffering that our people are going through. I think that's where we have come in as a First Sky Group to offer these donations to at least to bring a form of relief to our people who are going through these unfortunate situations. In all bid, helping Ghana not to be plunged into darkness. I think that is the premises where we have come from to offer these donations as our humanitarian gesture to our fortunate brothers and sisters who are going through this suffering. Yeah, they will also come as a subsidiary of the First Sky Group, which is Serene Insurance. They have also come out with a package, an insure life package for any victim that will be affected by way of death. As a result of this spillage, will be fully compensated, and the total sum of this policy is 2.5 million Ghana cedis.
It is a difficult time, and we understand the urgency of the situation. And it is in moments like these that we must come together as a community, as a region, and as a nation to support those who are suffering the most. Today, our company, Zoomlion Ghana Limited, a corporate concerned citizen, is undertaking a humanitarian mission to provide assistance to the communities affected by this disaster. We understand that good sanitary environments, clean water, safety and sustenance are essential for survival and well-being. Therefore, we are providing you with token of waste bins, plastic buckets, brooms and other sanitary items to aid in maintaining a clean environment. Food items such as rice and cooking oil, and water to satisfy your hunger and thirst. Safety jackets, mosquito nets, and aqua taps to keep you safe and protect you from harm and the spread of diseases. In addition, we are providing vector control and disinfection services in the safe havens and their environments, in addition to regular supply of water, for which we are supplying some today, and in subsequent days we will supply the rest. These are intended to reduce the spread and incidence of sanitation-related diseases that are normally associated with episodes of flooding. These diseases include malaria, typhoid, cholera, and dysentery. In times like these, it is heartwarming to witness communities come together to support one another. The spirit of unity and compassion is what makes our country strong. We are not alone in this endeavor, as many have already rallied to provide aid and support. It is our collective responsibility to ensure that these communities recover, rebuild, and restore hope and dignity.
In the room, and as evidence or proof of a home to a family, old our windows on the walls, and that's obviously there. There are picture frames, another picture frame. This I'm trying to turn on the switch. See, no light. No light. The rooms are here. I've seen the first room. And mind you, I can still smell the polluted water, even though the water is receded from here. So the water receding is just moving gradually, but the pace of its receding is very slow. That's the curtain in front of a room, obviously, what used to be a room. So you anything you can think of.
All the NADMO zonal coordinators, because these are the structures we are using on the ground to reach everybody with relief. We want to urge everyone that is coming in with donation to come to the National Emergency Operations Center, where
Persons who resided here or related to the person who
are catered for immediately. The situation we are seeing here, I'm sad that the government is downplaying it. It is a major man-made disaster, first of its kind in the history of this republic. We urge them that as soon as possible they should declare.
building was buried in the water a few days ago. Trying as much as possible not some of the mud house sometimes it's a little made stronger by putting a little concrete on it and some painting to beautify it. But beneath it, a strong mat used in putting up the building. This is a bed.
Sure that action is taken to reduce the suffering of the masses. And finally, I'm worried that some of our colleagues, some of Ghanaian citizens in these affected areas don't have a place to stay. We have Sagleme sitting idle. We have Sagleme sitting idle. The government must ensure that they house the people of these 11 affected communities.
It has to be done empirically. So we are collecting the data. We have evidence of what has been lost. Let's rely on the data and compensate people according to what they have lost. And then number three, you asked for three things. So one, I've told you about resettlement, Sagleme. Number two, compensation. And then number three, there's a public health crisis. The water has gone into mortuaries, into cemeteries, into refuge.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so that's an interesting one. I just met a gentleman. I haven't spoken with him. I saw him standing and looking at us when we're videoing. And in my attempt of talking to her, just finding out that this home was for her mom. Where's your mom?
It is Accra.
Your mom is in Accra now?
Yes, it can.
Now.
Yes.
Where you clear your tents? Where you clear go?
You clear go the village.
Which village?
What do you call it? Leon.
When the water came, where were you? What to do? The announcement say water they come for Makuzumbo Dam.
No, I don't hear it.
You don't hear?
I don't hear it.
You don't see?
But you sleep before the water come. You sleep the house before the water come. The night.
The water come night?
The night. Before you run away.
So you...
Scale up the public health response. Else, we'll no longer be grappling with floods. We'll also now be grappling with a public health emergency. So these are the three things that, to me, very, very urgent that the government must speak to.
We'll be meeting the VRA, and the issues are divided into two. We have short-term issues and long-term issues. So in the short term, it's about bread and butter issues. What can they do to make sure that the people continue being fed very well? Then secondly, we also talked about the public health response. And I spoke to the Director General of Ghana Health Service. As we speak, they have distributed medications to the various facilities around, so that in the event of any disease outbreak, they will take care of the people free of charge. That is what we have done so far. The regional director called the district director, and those things have been enforced as we speak.
So VRA has been carrying out dredging operations at the estuary over the past years. And our dredger is now aged. So there was a strategy to contract the dredging activity to a private company. VRA went through all the processes and was able to select a company. However, when they came in, I think the community had a misconception about what the operations were going to be. So there was an injunction placed on the dredging activities. which went to court and then later was resolved. In fact, the issue was to be taken out of court and then discussed amicably. Yes, if the dredging operation, were to be continuous, definitely it would also aid in draining the water downstream into the ocean. But mind you, this particular incident coincided with high tides. And anytime there is high tide, the river flowing into the ocean or the sea is also impeded. So yes, I will say that of course there was some, net effect. If the pathways were fully dredged, then at low tides, you could have a lot of water going into the sea. But that is not to say that the amount of flood or the inflows into the lake, and for that matter, how much we had to spill, if you considered that, I think the dredging would have also helped, but in these circumstances, would have still seen, this magnitude of flood that is associated with this year's dam spillage. The issue of relocation of the flood victims, I think this is a bigger discussion that must be taken on national level. It's come up several times. What I say is that at this point in time, VRA is focused on the humanitarian efforts to ensure that we safeguard life in this emergency. Definitely, when the storm is over, lessons learned, will be conducted, and then there will be bigger discussions in higher forums to see the way forward.
We don't want what has happened at Akosombo to happen to us in Accra. The Akosombo spillage, even though VRA, NADMO, the Water Resources Commission came together to educate the people in the community, did simulation exercises with them, even at Mepe. Yet, they refused to leave. They didn't want to be evacuated. They stayed there till the end when we started spilling. Unfortunately, look at what is happening. And government has to spend millions of money on relief items, on education. The whole area, the water is contaminated. And what Ghana Water and Water Resources Commission would have to spend money, millions of money to treat the water before we can pass it through our pipes. So a stitch in time saves 9, but sometimes it's difficult to accept the situation. But we will plead with all of you to accept it as it is. And let's all come together and ensure that we have safe drinking water. That's the most important thing. Water is life, water is essential to everything. Without water, we cannot survive. Without water, there will be no agric. Without water, there will be no health. Without water, in all other sectors of the economy, you need water. So help us to protect and preserve our water bodies.
I know my people have been very, very upset about what the sanitation minister said. The chiefs issued a statement this afternoon demanding a retraction and an apology. I want to say that I am on full force with the chiefs. I am totally aligned with the statement that the chiefs issued. We in Northtown, we are not squatters. We were here centuries before the Akosombo Dam was constructed and before the Corn Dam was constructed. We gave up our land for those constructions to take place. We have not even been fully compensated. So you cannot say that they should move and they refuse to move. Move to where? We are on our land. We own the land. And let us state for the record, there was no evacuation and our people refused to go. Nobody came here. We challenged them to produce evidence, to tell us what day they came here to evacuate anybody. So, look, we are down and out. This is not a time to add lies, to add insults to our plight. And I want to ask the sanitation minister to do the honorable thing. She should retract, she should apologize. We do not need those ill-informed and provocative statements.
It's 6:05 exactly in the morning of Mepe in the North Tong area, which has also been, in fact, the most affected as far as the dam, Akosombo Dam spillage is concerned. We're moving to safe havens, at least from areas where the houses are still safe. And as you can see behind me, I already have a team whose day has already started, and we're going to move on the waters. Let's hope we'll be safe. So as we move on the water, I can tell that the water is having some bad smell, which clearly shows that it is contaminated heavily. And if you haven't gotten the opportunity to see the extent of the flood, you still can appreciate the depth of the water, because we are almost at the roofs of the houses. If you've had stagnant water stay in a certain area for a long time, you can appreciate the smell. Even without necessarily being here, you'd know how stagnant water in certain areas mixed with metals, chemicals, poison, trees, waste, everything you can think of. If it stays in an area for a long time, that's how bad it smells. The coloring of the water itself, or the color, is changed. There's a public toilet. Oh, okay. So the man in charge of the boat, who's actually currently paddling the boat, tells us that we are in an area where there's a public toilet. So we are on top of a water body mixed with public toilet.
What is the difference between the ordinary thief and a political thief? Number one, the ordinary thief steals your money, your bag, your watch, and your jewelry, isn't it? But the political thief steals your future, your career, your education, your health, and your business. Number two, the hilarious part is that the ordinary thief will choose whom to rob. But you are the one who choose the political thief to rob you. Because we choose them. We vote them. We blindly say we are not blind. Who is deceiving who? The ridiculous part of the whole issue is that we will fight to defend and protect our belongings from the ordinary thief. Is it not? But we fight each other to defend and protect the political thief. Is that not what we do? Thugs will be fighting themselves to protect those that are stealing our career, stealing our joy, stealing our health, stealing our success. What a shame.
If you reach a certain stage in life and there is nobody who can look you in the eye and tell you the truth, you are doomed. And that is where our country has gotten to. We need to rescue this country. Wallahi. And I feel very terrible as a Ghanaian at this time. This country is in serious trouble, ladies and gentlemen. We are in serious trouble. We need to rescue this country, ladies and gentlemen. The presidency has been so depraved, so muddied, so dirtied, that I tell you in all sincerity as a Ghanaian, that I feel terribly sad today as a Ghanaian. We need to rescue this country. Wallahi, inshallah.
Please don't cry.
We shall rescue our country.
Government is broke, government is broke. But people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are two types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now.
Right, hello, good morning, and welcome to the show. This is Good Morning Ghana Live on Metro TV. It's Thursday, the 26th day of October, 2023. By His grace, we're live and we're here. We're yet another edition of the show. Our gratitude will go to the Most High God for the rare privilege of being alive and, of course, the opportunity of having another conversation around the top stories making the rounds here in our dear Republic. I'll let you into our panel for the morning's conversation shortly. But let's take a look at the front pages of our newspapers, Daily Graph. Ghanaian Times, sorry. It says VIP cuts sought for 586 projects for 48 districts. 6 regions to benefit from $150 million SOCO initiative. Gamania begins final journey home amid controversy. 6 secessionists convicted, 4 others discharged, sentencing deferred to November 1. Embrace digital tools to deal with emerging cybercrime cases, Chief Justice to judges. 3 teacher unions appealed to government to pay outstanding allowances. Daily Guide. CJ bounces OSP. NIB liquidation claims false. Majority. Contractors reject Adair's bribe claims. So the contractors were going to say that, yes, we paid the money up front. Aluex. Bawumia cash sought for $150 million SOCO project. The New Crusading Guide. CJ rejects OSP's request for recusal of Justice Edward Chum. Doma East MP Lord's Energy Minister for successfully engaging ExxonMobil. La Youth chase Kpando MP over land. Residents reject Asanko Mines relocation plan. Welcome Deputy Minister's intervention for community mining. Ibrahim Mahama donates 20,000 cedis to flood-affected constituencies. Rising water levels threatening hydroelectric dams security. That's a security consultant. Okay. The Insight. Ibrahim Mahama donates to 20,000 homes in Tong and Keta constituencies. That's a proper reflection, not 20,000 cedis. JB Danquah, University of Ghana Vice Chancellor, kicks against renaming university after him. Palestine. Malema calls for boycott of Israeli goods in South Africa. TUC demands better wages for improved pension benefits. NHIS at 20. Anniversary kicks off. Arrest and prosecute chiefs conniving with chainsaw operators to destroy forest reserves. The Daily Statesman. $150 million SOCO project for Northern and Oti regions. Shandong Gold Group to construct new airport at Bolgatanga. Ghana, South Africa collaborate on housing delivery. GJA petitions military over journalist assault in Achimota. Kandapar 6 substituted service on evading Vomao. NHI launches 20 years anniversary. Daily Graphic. Develop mining areas deliberately. Scrap levies on exploration. Chamber of Mines to government. Bawumia Card sought for 582 projects, $150 million investment across 48 districts and 6 regions. Gamania funeral, traditional rites reach fever pitch. Road contractors refute bribery allegations. And that's about it for the front pages. We'll be back shortly.
Pascal is showing his boss the efficient new technology they've installed. She is pleased, but now she's asking, why is that still there? Pascal explains that he hired a security guard to protect the data shed. The boss is not so pleased anymore. If you haven't upgraded to cloud storage yet, it's time to get business done better with MTN Business.
Mommy!
Michelle, fe. Yum.
Different era, better result. Time has changed and time has brought Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Healthy gums, anti-cavity, fresher breath, and it whitens teeth. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Sankofa.
Yenchi. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste.
Happy smile.
This advert is FDA approved.
Ready for something refreshing and great tasting? For your kids' enjoyment?
Angel Cola.
For your graduation enjoyment?
Angel Cola.
Beach hangout?
Angel Cola.
For all your refreshing moments?
Angel Cola.
For your parties, get-togethers, events, and celebrations, enjoy a chilled bottle of Angel Cola. Radio Grandma, today is your day. Over to you. Thank you. Enjoyment Cola.
Angel Cola. The Enjoyment Cola. Enjoy all your moments and fun time with Angel Cola. This advert is FDA approved.
Enjoy the fruits of your labor, they say. But as humans, aging and physical infirmity stands our way of enjoying our mansions and homes. It often becomes challenging, if not impossible, to use our stairways day in, day out. With portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators, PVs, you are assured of unlimited enjoyment of your mansions and homes. It's a self-supported elevator for vertical movement of humans and goods at homes and offices. The original comes in 3 custom-made models with wheelchair accessibility. Call it luxury, but it's a necessary imperative for vertical mobility. Do not let aging or infirmity limit you. Get one for your easy vertical mobility at home. It's affordable and can be installed in just 3 days without modification to your existing building. It's however easier to incorporate it at the construction stage. We also have traditional Fuji elevators and escalators for your high-rise buildings and malls. Visit Lifts and Elevators Company Limited at Sakumono for your elevators nationwide. For free consultation to call or WhatsApp us on 0200-535-515. Lifts and Elevators, the elevator people.
Betway is your gateway to a theme park full of gaming excitement. A whirlpool of wonder where your favorite games come to life. Where you can take to the skies with max payouts that reach into the millions. All in the palm of your hand. Visit betway.com.gh. Terms and conditions apply. Betway is regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. No under 18. Bet responsibly. Betway. Bet your way.
Inside Blackstar Press Limited. Grow inside the inventive minds, evolving concepts, and the creative trends. The printing press you need now. Witness the beauty, diversity, and natural wonder with our works. Inside Blackstar Press Limited, in association with Lionhead Group of Companies. Call us now on 0200-880-000 for all your print works. Blackstar Press Limited, a worldwide reputation for quality printing.
In life, choice is good, but choice plus safety is way better. Your safety and comfort is paramount. Under the cylinder recirculation model, you can buy LPG in a safe environment. All cylinders are inspected and maintained to the best safety standards, so your safety is assured. Just take your empty cylinder to the nearest exchange point and swap it for a filled cylinder. Different cylinder sizes will be available to meet your pocket size. Imagine cooking in a smoke-free environment. This will improve the health and well-being of you and your family. Choose LPG in a safer model of distribution. Cylinder recirculation model, securing your safety, creating more jobs. A message from the National Petroleum Authority under the patronage of the Ministry of Energy.
Hey, give it to me! Hey, man! Go! One time! Stop! Ah, enough you guys, so continue!
Prepare yourself to unleash even more moolah by staking from 1 Ghana cedi to 350 Ghana cedis. And you could win 26 times your stake on the exciting new Pick 1 game from Game Park. Play by dialing *946# on all networks via our website or download the Game Park app on www.gameparkgames.com. Choose your Pick 1 number from 1 to 36. Place your stake and watch our live draws on Adum TV at 9 a.m., 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. daily.
Hey, live life like me with Game Park. Game Park, more moolah, more power.
This game is regulated by the National Lottery Authority, not for persons under 18. Play responsibly.
Masenabo, Masenaba. They say, you see, you go cashless. They get cashless here. You say, you can be a issue office. You see, the power up or back. And also, another you'll be here. Set up auto credit. Set up auto credit and no one issue. So, what problem be a person using for after he lands over power up. So, and one on to us and be up. So, only smartphone and money how. And there's only data and so and it's unique every. And one said, who bring your young phone. Oh, sorry. Who bring your phone. No one direct *226#. You are through there. You see the power up, no? Mobile money, Visa card, Mastercard, a BHP, you never see BHP. You see the power up. But what to show a down some, nay, simple.
Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. With me on the show this morning, I have Godwin Eduji Tamaklo, who's the Director of Legal Affairs of the NDC. Director, good morning. Director of Legal Affairs, NDC.
That's like
Godwin Eduji Tamaklo.
But that's like opposition attorney general. Oh,
don't mind him. Don't mind him.
Also with me on the show this morning is the Chief Executive Officer who also sits on the board as a director of the National Health Insurance Authority, Dr. Bernard Okobo. Director body.
See, no only just one opposition and at all oppositions. No, really never. The first time about now,
out for you.
Wow! Oh, congrats! I didn't know. I didn't know, and he deserves it because case he said no, I defend her.
I will ignore you this.
So MTN is asking if you're ready to treat your callers to good tunes while you win incredible rewards. Earn points by purchasing, renewing, copying or gifting your favorite caller tunes, and you can win amazing prizes based on your total accumulated points. Yes, build as many points as possible and you can win tons of data to stay connected to the things you love, or you can win an amazing 10,000 Ghana cedis cash prize to splash on your favorite things. It's a perfect way to entertain your callers with music and get rewarded at the same time. Start collecting your caller tunes points today. Visit collartunes.mtn.com.gh or just dial *1355# to get started on the MTN Collar Tune service. And this promo lasts till 7th of November 2023. Terms and conditions do apply. And brushing your kids' teeth sometimes becomes difficult due to resistance because of the taste of a toothpaste. Now use Kelkis toothpaste flavored with strawberry. That gives a perfect taste for kids and makes them develop a personal attitude and love for brushing their teeth always. Kelkis toothpaste protects child's gum, prevents cavities, and makes the teeth strong and healthy with freshness all day. Kelkis toothpaste is recommended for children between 2 to 6 years. It's a product from Samara Company Limited, producers of Sasu, and is approved by the Food and Drugs Authority. Kelkis, happy smile. And enjoying the fruits of your labor is as important as enjoying the mansions of your labor. The pains of climbing stairs when not exercising could be challenging for all ages. But worry no more. Lifts and elevators have got you covered with the best portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators on the market today. It's a simple, self-supported elevator for both homes and offices. And guess what? It can lift goods too. Wheelchairs can fit in, and they come in 3 custom-made models. It's affordable and can be installed within 3 days. Visit Lift and Elevators at Sakumon or just call them on 0200535515 or send a mail to elevatorsgh@gmail.com for consultations and best solutions in easy vertical movement. Let's talk about education, especially higher education. And I'm asking you to secure your future with the Accra Business School. You can boost your career with the prestigious MSc degrees from KNUST. You can choose from Human Resource Management, Communication and International Marketing, International Relations, Public Affairs, or IT Management. In just 12 months, the MBA can be yours. Dive into their BSc programs in IT Security and Cybercrime, IT Management, and Business Management, endorsed by top universities in Ireland and Wales. The Accra Business School offers flexible entry payment and learning options convenient to you. It's time to unlock your potential and take position. Visit www.abs.edu.gh or call the Accra Business School on 0263 855 or 0263 888 Visit the campus at Spintex Road, Christ Square. Let Accra Business School elevate your future today. All right. So whoever you are, whatever you do, wherever you go, drink Angel Cola, your key to enjoyment. Angel Cola, love it. Ready for something refreshing, great tasting with excellent flavors? Unia, you've got varieties to choose from. Angel Orange for that special occasion. Angel Mango. Angel Peach, refresh your mood. Angel Apple Lime. Angel Drinks produce vitality and maintain fluid in normal balance. Angel Drinks, refreshing, invigorating, and exciting. Angel Drinks are produced by Adonko Soft Drinks Beverages Limited. Angel Drinks taste like our day and is recommended for all, including children. You can reach them on 0244-832286 or 0507878668. Doc, here NHI is 20.
A lot of grace at 20 years. You know, the scheme was, first of all, let me say a very good morning to yourself, to council, and to all your viewers. And I'm happy to hear that council is the director of legal affairs. It doesn't really matter whether it's a portfolio in or out of government. At least you get opportunity to serve. Look, the scheme was birthed some 20 years ago, somewhere 2003, through an act of parliament. And I'm happy to say that 20 years down the line, millions of Ghanaians have had the opportunity to access health care as a result of this program. Just as you have with all policy interventions or programs, there will be some challenges that makes you continue working at perfection. But we should not be blinded by our challenges into forgetting some of the achievements that we've also had. And some few weeks ago, I think 2 weeks ago, we had a regional conference, and by the WHO, when they say region, they mean Africa. We had a regional conference on health financing, how to finance universal health care. And Doc, you'll be amazed at some of the things that came out. How some countries don't cover even 5% of their population when it comes to insurance. But Ghana medical insurance were doing more than 50%. And these were figures from the WHO presented by one of their consultants from Geneva. Ghana was cited as one country with Rwanda, the two being the only countries that had crossed the half population mark when it came to covering their population. But the same presenter was quick to say that covering your population does not necessarily mean that you have taken out financial burden. Out of pocket could still be there. And I'm happy to admit that Ghana had some level of out of pocket, a revelation that showed that we had more work to do despite the impressive coverage. So Doc, we are trying to have a few projects also at 20. It will not be a month celebration. We want to do it more or less like in the year of the 20th anniversary. So we started in October. Hopefully by October next year, we would have rounded up all the activities. Two key projects would stand out beyond all the other activities like blood donation, exercise, community storming to create awareness. Key two projects. The National Health Insurance is supporting Tako Health Center or clinic in the Nabdoli Kalio constituency, speaker's constituency, to upgrade facility clinic. Doc, it's a message we are sending that we are not only interested in just paying for healthcare, but also helping to expand the assets. Talk about geographical or fiscal assets. And then finally, the National Health Insurance at the right time would unveil a memorial center in honor of all those who have played key roles in making sure that we have a fund that is robust despite some of the challenges it's experienced over the years. So Doc, it's good news. And let me quickly also say that technology-wise, I think we've come far. When the scheme started, all claims were manual. You can imagine. When anybody visits the hospital, you needed fiscal documents to fiscally go through the condition they brought, to do the billing, to look at the drugs. As we speak, 94% of all the 1.5 million claims that we receive in a year are processed electronically. And the good news is that the gentleman behind this electronic processing is a Ghanaian, Doc, a very smart IT gentleman who worked with the management that preceded even our administration. Let me mention Lawyer Otu. During the meals, I think it was Meals of Mama, 20, he came there after Mensa, Sylvester Mensa.
Oh, you're talking about Nathaniel Otu?
Yes,
yeah.
Fantastic.
Deputy
to all right, right. Fantastic guy, fantastic. Just like his boss, Sly. They did some amazing job when it came to starting the process of digitization. The two of them are fantastic guys. And Lawyer was actually at the Health Finances Summit. He keeps touch all the time. As for Sly, you need to make a vice sale, running with sale or Iberica. Yes. Most of the time, I don't get him like the other guy.
This morning, I think you came with a different agenda.
Oh,
different.
I'm saying a lot of people from a distance think that he suits the position of running mate. And it's like he's busy. So I don't get him like how to. On this note, you can do by how.
Okay, so including you, the NHI has had 8 CEOs. Interestingly, of the 8, 4 doctors and 4 non-doctors.
Okay, that is fair.
Yes,
it's 50-50.
4 doctors and 4 non-doctors.
It's 50-50.
Yes. Okay.
So
but I guess I just take this out of the way. I mean, just before I went off, one of the key things that had come up, and I think I even had a private discussion with you, had to do with the issues of renal problems and all the problems that we're having, and the call for a certain intervention, and this has to do with the Kolebu issues, where those increments and things happen. I spoke with the CEO of Kolebu on this show, but it had to do with the cost and the fact that most people who suffer from renal dysfunction or malfunction are unable to access healthcare because of the cost. And so you've had a company like First Sky come in and virtually take about 60% or so of those who go to Kolebu and others. But if you look at the numbers, those who are seeking care, and the reported numbers of people who suffer renal diseases, it appears that perhaps a lot of people are not getting the care that is required. Absolutely. And it has to do with largely the issue of cost. And so the issue of NHIA has come. I don't know if as part of your 20th anniversary, you're looking at taking on some of these major things. I know that you started with some child cancers. People speak about adult cancers as well. And then the issue of the renal thing, especially the dialysis.
Yeah.
That's for those who are on it already and who require this dialysis all the time. I don't know what your plans are.
So yesterday, I think the thrust of my speech was that as a country, council, if anybody says we cannot do something about kidney care, heart care, it is not true. Look, the only reason why Ghanaians who suffer kidney disease and other debilitating terminal conditions have suffered financially, individually and alone is just because we've not brought the conversation to the table. Look, when the insurance scheme was birthed, it covered 95% of ailments. And I always say that President Kufuor and those who sat at Parliament and engineered the act and look at the benefits package, they were not wicked people. Look, they didn't leave out kidney care out of sheer wickedness. They were looking at sustainability. The fear was that you were now going to run the scheme. If certain conditions that come with significant expenditure also join, maybe carrying the load might be difficult. But it did not mean that forever those conditions had to stay out. And so my position yesterday was that I am happy that through advocacy and conversation, it has come all the way to cabinet. And look, I'm happy to announce that cabinet has more or less directed the Ministry of Health to work with us and all other relevant ministries, including finance, to see how the support to kidney patients can be put in place through a program that is sustainable. I have espoused a few ways that we can support, but the final plan does not rest with me. But I say this just for us to know that there are ways we can go about it, or it is possible. When you look at a condition like retro HIV, look, government centrally procures their medicines, and then through our health administration, Ghana Health Service and all that, distribute to patients and mothers who are carrying babies, retro mothers and all that. The consumables for kidney care, it is possible to procure centrally some of the key ones. They determine the cost largely of the renal dialysis. It's one approach. Another approach can be health insurance doing the costing, coding it like we do with other conditions, and putting it on our program. But one thing I always say is that no insurance company discusses the expenditure end of adding benefits without looking at the inflow end of what comes in. And that is why at the National Health Insurance, we've told Minister that we want more of the conversation on sustainability. Look, the law that birthed health insurance created in it an actuarial department. The gentleman heading the actuarial department, some fantastic guy with his team. Every condition we try to add on, they do the studies and show you the graph, the sustainability graph. When we added on hydroxyurea for sickle cell patients, childhood cancers, family planning, he did the graphs, and it showed that if we continue on the trend of adding more benefits without looking at the other end, the sustainability issue, the graph was pointing below the straight line. As we speak, we are having conversation with Mental Health Authority. Doc, we are more or less through Cabinet, the President's directive and Ministry of Health. We are onboarding, just about onboarding the top 4 mental health conditions onto health insurance. And prostate, doc, the men have been complaining that cervical and breast are on health insurance. Prostate is not. So as we speak, our strategic health purchasing department, which is the department that looks like conditions that we want to onboard to do the coding, the cost and stakeholder engagements, they are far advanced in their engagements, considering prostate care to come on board. And now kidney has arrived. So my only small issue which I'll mention here is that as a country, we have to be real to ourselves. We have been paying the same processing fee and so-called, I call it so-called premium because it's not a premium, it's like a token. Those who don't pay SNIT contributions, their premium for the year is about 27 Ghana. If I want to take away processing fee, it's 20 cedis. Look, they've paid 20 cedis for about 14 years. So these are, once we get the platform, we encourage the discussions, at least so that we all move a step towards being realistic in our contribution.
Okay, so Ogo, I've heard what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I've heard you say this in different ways.
Yeah.
And I'm referring to what I'm about to say. But I've heard people also say that yes, indeed, the issue of the premium, the numbers on Social Security and all that, is something that we ought to look at. However, they believe that irrespective of all those things, if the policy of capping and realignment is taken out, and the timely disbursement and full disbursement of what Ghanaians actually pay for health insurance is released for the purposes of health insurance, we should be able, probably using just the projections for revenue collections from the health insurance levy alone, be able to deal with a lot of the things that we are speaking about. For many people, they do not understand why we decide that as a country, we have a problem with health. We have a problem with education. We decide that for people to contribute, and I'm saying this because, you see, my question will be a bit lengthy, but I guess that people will really appreciate it. See, one of the lies on the face of it, not lies, but one of the facades or the face of it is that anytime you see the budget of a country like Ghana, you will see that education and health take about 70% of the budget. The impression that is created is that a country like Ghana is investing heavily in education and health. But when you go into the details, you realize that about 90% or over 80% of these amounts allocated to those two sectors are for recurrent expenditure. Nothing on capex and all the other things. And that is why the issues of having specific tax handles to deal with funding for those two specific areas is something that was embraced. I mean, if you look at the Get Fund 1, it had to do with the level, the 70.5 from the beginning and all that. You know, but having dedicated tax handles to deal with issues of education, infrastructure, and then health with the national health insurance were things that we really thought that, look, it will help. So that let the budgetary allocations deal with all those things, and then we can have the people themselves paying. Yeah. That is why the issue of just the premium and the number of people on SNIT does not hold. Because when it comes to health insurance, almost everybody who patronizes a good or a service which is covered by VAT pays towards health insurance. Now, why would we go through all this? And yet we decide that at the central level, we will not provide all these monies that are collected for this specific purpose. But we will decide to do capping and realignment. Even when we're not doing capping and realignment, we had problems with the disbursement. And then now we enter with capping and realignment. And so if you look at the documents that your outfit submits to Parliament every year, you would see the amounts that have been collected and what is actually released. And the fact that if indeed we are releasing whatever we are collecting for the purposes of health insurance, we perhaps won't be having this discussion.
Oh, Doc, I mean, your point is absolutely true. It's a fair comment. I'm happy that lawyer is here. I assume if there are some issues with some of our laws that we have to amend so that it makes things, it improves the situation. It's one of the laws that he should be looking at. Because I've said at many places, and I'll say here that, just in agreement with you, if all that is in the name of the levy arrives at health insurance, there are many more conditions that can be taken care of. But Doc, the law says that the finance minister, every finance minister should transfer all that is collected, I think in 30 days or so, and every 6 months must come to Parliament to account for what has been collected. Council, in this Fourth Republic, that law largely has not been, it's not been taken up as the drafters envisaged. Doc, I think this fund, is it Heritage Fund? Some of the petroleum funds, before a finance minister can tie, they have to go to Parliament. Yes. Exactly. These encumbrances, these rigidities that surround such funds, health insurance, it has not got such a rigidity. So, to be honest, from the time it's been created, the percentage released has not been full over the years. And what makes it more worrying is that based on who is the finance minister, it can improve or it can worsen. So for me, one of the nationalistic approaches or conversation that will help the situation is a rendition by the lawyers that will make it almost impossible for a finance minister or the one who receives the funds, whether it's the GRA boss or whoever, to do what they like with the fund, whether through capping, through discretionary release in terms of percentage or whatever. And Doc, I believe it can be done. And I've always, although I'm not a lawyer, I've had this rendition that I've mentioned at places that imagine if you can trigger the removal of any finance minister with 1/5 of Parliament for not having released all funds. No matter who is in power, it is easy to get 1/5. I suspect the reason why all finance ministers in the Fourth Republic have done what pleases them and have still been had a good day and nothing happens is because to trigger, if you're a health advocate, to ask for someone to be sanctioned, you need more than half. Is it not more than half to censure? Yeah, I think 2/3 or more than what?
2/3.
Yes, exactly. Look, it's a Herculean.
Even that one, if you look at the censure clause, even when Parliament had done the vote of censure,
It's still subject to the president's decision.
Oh, okay. So if that is the case, then we have to find a way that the law, I'm looking at structure, Doc, and immediately this is done, it will now give us the opportunity to have real discussions. Why am I saying so? Most of the time, when people are in opposition, when we're in opposition, if you tell me you want to touch processing fees or premium, I'm being frank, I'll tell you don't touch it until you have fully released the levy. Then I will see whether the levy is still insufficient when you get a full complement. Now, I cannot will not allow me to go into this area, citing the same arguments I raised some time ago. So, really, you have been spot on with the elephant in the room, Doc. You have been spot on with the elephant in the room.
Yes.
And
because the elephant is stomping.
And the elephant in the room is that we have to look at how to get a full complement levy. And let me tell council, this will save you a lot of pressure or struggle if you guys see power in the distant future. Doc, if you work on a strategy to make it rigid, then in the near future, when I come and you are Jubilee House in the distant future, you will not have issues with me coming at you that health insurance is still having issues with releases. Doc, so point is very fair. It's a very serious thing, and not if you even name the capping, we might think that it is only that policy. Then some discretionary spendings that happened in the past were even could be more or less than capping. So the bottom line is I want a full complement. And how do we get that to happen so that people don't apply their own discretion?
Right.
Yes, Randy, 20 years of national health insurance, as the record will show, the beginning of the national health insurance scheme basically started at Pension House. It started in a very small office. The processes of allowing the, what do you call it, the initial setup, all of those things happened. In fact, around that time, the persons associated with the respected former president, Jerry Rawlings, always says that possibly one of his biggest regrets is not going to Parliament and just passing an act of Parliament to say that we are going to make access to health care free for our people because of the start with FQIB and others. He could have just added the question of health. President Kufuor in 2003 got the initial law passed, which is the National Health Insurance Act 2003, Act 650 passed. You recall that at that time, it was basically mutual health insurance schemes. In the year 2012, President Mahama assented to the National Health Insurance Act 2012, Act 852. That basically gave the scheme the opportunity that today you can move from, say, Accra, go to Kumasi, and still have the benefit of health insurance. In the past, it wasn't so. Now, if you look at the leadership of the scheme under Mrs. Lai Mensah, subsequent to the other people who have taken, the scheme had moved on. I recall the conversation in 2016, and I used to do that with you on Asempa. And we usually will look at claim payment, because for every health insurance, there are two major indicators: claim payments and outpatient utilization. If the claim payment is not good enough, it will affect the outpatient utilization. Then people's confidence in the scheme becomes problematic. And we have basically leverage on it. The important thing, and which I agree with you, is the question of sustainability of the scheme generally. And so the conversation has always been, what kind of modeling should we have? a modeling that allows us to do an additional 1% more on value added onto what we have already. So that if we succeed, because as for client premium payment, is virtually nothing if you compare to how much the National Health Insurance Levy is giving to the scheme. And Randy, if you observe carefully, and I have seen the data, and that is where I agree with Dr. Okoboy. If we can have a bit of political will, sometimes it's not really a question of amending the law. It's just a simple question of having political will. If we have that, we wouldn't, the scheme will function and will be sustainable. Because you do not want a situation where the scheme runs the risk of running at a loss, where always suppliers and health service providers will be on the neck of the authority. You don't want that situation. And so, Randy, if you observe carefully, and I have the data, it's been very downward, starting 2018, and it's been very terrible since. In fact, if you look at the data, Randy, in 2022, the scheme generated 1.9 billion Ghana cedis. Guess how much was released? Zero. This one is not about legislating it. It's about a finance minister having self-restraint that as for health, it is so critical that I will not touch it. If we are able to do that, I mean, sometimes it's difficult to say it, but the political class, when they are not well, they quickly go outside there and get health services. The rest are people in the country. And so if you have a situation where in 2022, of the 1.9 billion that was generated by way of the levy, zero was released to the authority, then you have a situation, you have a problem. And this problem is not resolvable simply by amending the act. Because the law as it stands now is beautiful. In 30 days, whatever you have received, lodge it with the National Health Insurance. Nothing more, nothing else. What form of amendment? Unless you provide criminal sanctions against the minister, maybe that's the only thing that would provide a certain fear in a finance minister, not to keep monies meant for health. Because that is so primary, very primary. And so, in the superior wisdom of the makers of the National Health Insurance Law, that 30 days moratorium that was placed in was done for strategic reasons. And I have always maintained that what you need is the necessary political will. Because I remember in 2016, the National Health Insurance levy generated 1.2 billion Ghana cedis. Randy, guess what? 1.1 billion was released to the authority. That's in 2016. Constituting 86% of the money was given back to the authority. Use it for your operational issue, subject to the parliament approving the formula. The other thing too is maybe Parliament, in exercising its oversight responsibility over the authority, vis-a-vis approval of the disbursement formula, among other things, is something that we need to look at. How many times has the Health Committee of Parliament, for instance, called the Finance Minister to question him why the delay and what the bottlenecks are? If we are able to resolve those challenges, I think this scheme will forever remain one of the biggest health interventions for our people. In celebrating 20th anniversary, I strongly believe that one of the things that we can do is a firm commitment from duty bearers that we are not going to cap National Health Insurance levy and use it to pay nursing training allowances. I mean, I don't see the correlation. Using health insurance money to pay for nursing training allowances. No. I don't see the connection. The student loan scheme or whatever it is can take charge of that responsibility. Or government should look for other funds for that particular, task. But to use health insurance at the time when people, Randy, like you pointed out, a private individual in the person of the owner of Sky, look at how much he alone is able to do for dialysis patients in this country, and many other such conditions that he's able to fund. And then now you hear government is using those available resources to pay her nursing training allowances. It becomes problematic. Then you also hear that government of Ghana had capped how much is coming into the district by way of the capping and realignment legislation. I mean, these things are completely avoidable. Look, it was Parliament, and interestingly enough, he was in that Parliament that passed the Capping and Realignment Act. Virtually no opposition. I recall that the NDC MPs there raised fundamental issues about that capping and realignment law. In fact, myself, Dr. Ayeni, obviously led by Dr. Ayeni, went to the Supreme Court against Minister Ken Ofori-Atta with two of our clients, the Honorable Chris Kodo, Honorable Kodo, the MP for Ho Central, and Richard Koshiga. We went to the Supreme Court and said, look, part of this capping and realignment law is problematic. It's giving us, Randy, can you imagine that even when we got the Supreme Court to make orders directed at the finance minister, he would still disobey it. To the point that we had to issue letters threatening him that he must know that if you disobey the orders of the Supreme Court, even as president, it's ground for your removal.
And when you threaten him, is it not against the law?
No, we issue letters to him, letting him know that his boss can be removed from office if he disobeys the orders of the Supreme Court. How much more him as minister? So, all you need is a president who actually is on top of the issues and can order the finance minister that, no, this one is about health. It's about the health of the people. And so don't touch this money. Even if you want to touch it, where you have zero releases, it doesn't make sense. And so it is one thing that I strongly believe that we should be able to work it out. I mean, like on the Kolebu renal issues, CD depreciation. Randy, CD depreciation. Key issue. And so maybe like Okoboy pointed out, government should be the one doing the purchases, so that the issues about tax waivers and all of those things can be taken care of. If you are bringing reagent for renal treatment and others, and you have to go and pay duty, among other things, at the ports, definitely it's going to affect such treatment because it will be expensive. The depreciation of the city is going to impact on it as well. I mean, it's so notorious. Whose responsibility is it to stabilize the city? And so when we put all of these things together, I strongly believe that we have the capacity to keep the national health insurance thing going. It's a scheme that has been so beneficial to as many of our people, and I have seen clear efforts by the two political parties, at least to get this scheme sustained for our people, except the bottlenecks associated with releases. If we are able to do that, I think the rest of the matters can be completely dealt with. Randy.
Okay. We need to take a break. When we return, it's a disaster. It's a national disaster. But it appears that not all see it that way. And what is actually happening is revealed a lot really about us and who we really are and what we understand by leadership, by humanity, by emotional intelligence, and by being empathetic. Well, there are a lot of people who are making sense. There are a lot of people who are showing a lot of empathy and compassion. There are a lot of people who are reaching out and sharing. There are a lot of people who are really talking a lot of BS and displaying quite a lot of, I don't know what to say. Let me just check myself from going a lot further. I want to return that Akosombo Dam spillage.
So many styles to choose, but there's only one sure way to pay.
MTN.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ampedu.
Good afternoon, Mr. Asari.
How is business doing?
My business is collapsing.
Why is your business collapsing?
I sold my products and services to my clients on credit, and my debtors are not paying their debt.
Have you heard of Rosic Consult Limited, a debt recovery company operating in all the 16 regions of Ghana?
Not at all.
Mr. Ampadu, all you need to do is to contact them on their customer service line. I recommend Rosic Consult Limited, a debt recovery company to financial institutions, businessmen and businesswomen, other companies, and also individuals. Rosic Consult has 98.4% debt recovery rate. We have professional debt recovery managers. You are assured of swift debt recovery. No recovery, no commission. For Rosic Consult Limited, no more write-offs. And we pre-finance the recovery ourselves.
Betway is your gateway to a theme park full of gaming excitement. A whirlpool of wonder where your favorite games come to life. Where you can take to the skies with max payouts that reach into the millions. All in the palm of your hand. Visit betway.com.gh. Terms and conditions apply. Betway is regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. No under 18. Bet responsibly. Betway. Bet your way.
Enjoy the fruits of your labor, they say. But as humans, aging and physical infirmity stands our way of enjoying our mansions and homes. It often becomes challenging, if not impossible, to use our stairways day in, day out. With portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators, PVs, you are assured of unlimited enjoyment of your mansions and homes. It's a self-supported elevator for vertical movement of humans and goods at homes and offices. The original comes in 3 custom-made models with wheelchair accessibility. Call it luxury, but it's a necessary imperative for vertical mobility. Do not let aging or infirmity limit you. Get one for your easy vertical mobility at home. It's affordable and can be installed in just 3 days without modification to your existing building. It's however easier to incorporate it at the construction stage. We also have traditional Fuji elevators and escalators for your high-rise buildings and malls. Visit Lifts and Elevators Company Limited at Sakumono for your elevators nationwide. For free consultation to call or WhatsApp us on 0200-535-515. Lifts and Elevators, the elevator people.
Everybody knows Acrobato, and if you know Acrobato, it means you know Endpoint Homeopathy Clinic. Endpoint Homeopathy Clinic is my pillar. Let's hear what others are saying about Endpoint Homeopathy Clinic. Who will be careful Endpoint one?
Chesena me ankasa me problem na say problems wom ntina ma wo ho idea ma me papa chesena nya asem ketewa na me coin point no mo hwe me modam no mo hwe bibia na so mo meduro a me fire no ene ma won kura me enu foforo kwa na me kwan mu a eba head everything yourself
me ma me no wadwodwo eda ho a wontumi nante ene ne ko Endpoint o mama nuru a ene ne ho ade a watimi asori anante.
That's Endpoint for you. Hello. Hey, ohwehwe what che okay a free bra wo di Endpoint wa dance am me call you no me Johnson sema na enkoyie e person na maye mre nyina na magina sabema na me be fie for there e ho na nyina jaresa. You heard everything. I have secret. Endpoint is my secret. Endpoint Homeopathy Clinic. I'm free.
My son, there's more blessing in giving than receiving. When you fear for nyina enkobo the makers in sra no hu dewo.
The pneumatological aberration of the Lord revealed unto me this night that me and my household should go out into the world and bless the world.
Makers Electronics Company Limited. Up to 67% discount. Our selected appliances.
This is what I call quintessential immaculatability.
The Makers Electronics Company Limited. Taifa Burkina Highway. Amasama Zongo Junction. At the K Pharmacy Dining. Oyer Fateman Boga Junction. Ashaman Falco Flat. Kumasi. Ahinema Kokobin. Asafu Bwachi Hospital Junction. Takradi. Number 9 Market.
And tell mom and dad about the Makers Blessing Attack program.
From 0552 222 253 and 0552 222 254. Terms and conditions apply.
Inside Black Star Press Limited, grow inside the invective minds, evolving concepts and the creative trends. The printing press you need now. Witness the beauty, diversity, and natural wonder with our works. Inside Black Star Press Limited, in association with Lionhead Group of Companies. Call us now on 0200-880-000 for all your print works. Black Star Press Limited, a worldwide reputation for quality printing.
For over 20 years of serving the world with herbal and alternative medicine, we've been successful in treating complicated medical conditions with a perfect combination of herbal and alternative methods of treatment like homeopathy, naturopathy, reflexology, and many more. We deliver excellent and effective service to people from all walks of life through scientific and traditional means. We have a well-equipped laboratory with advanced diagnostic and treatment devices to help detect your illness so we know the right medication to be given. At Amen Scientific Herbal and Alternative Medical Hospital, we are proud manufacturers of our own herbal medication. Our zeal and passion to save lives with our patients at heart and outstanding achievements since 1996 has won us several awards. That is why we say, go herbal, go Amen. We are located everywhere in all the regions. Amen Scientific Herbal and Alternative Medical Hospital. Allahu Shafi, God is the He.
Star 857 hash. Star 857 hash. Zoom Lion. 857 hash. Star 857 hash.
Change your style. Be like that. Change your baller style. Don't be like that. Zoom Lion is here for everyone. Pay with star 857 hash and we will come for your baller. Zoom Lion. Tiamian for baller wate.
To help us a solution. Got a payment to make? Use MTN Momo and enjoy real convenience in all your financial transactions. Live life the brighter way with MTN.
MTN.
Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. Still with me on the show, I have Director Godwin Edwige Tamaklo and Dr. Okoboy Bernard. All right, so are you tired of compromising on the quality of your furniture? Look no further. With Gracefield Ventures, you guarantee top-notch products that are not only beautiful but also built to last. With over a decade of experience, Gracefield Ventures has been the ultimate destination for office and home furniture, creating living and working spaces that exude charm and sophistication. From luxurious sofas that cradle you in comfort to sleek swivel chairs that elevate your productivity, we have it all. Go on, visit the Plus showroom at the heart of Kisem and Accra from Monday to Saturday. Or you can reach Gracefield Ventures on 0501 672 776 or 0501 672 777. Gracefield, bringing world-class furniture and exceptional service right to your doorstep. And what does wealth mean to you? Do you want to live like a tycoon? Remember, as God the Mullah, God the power. Ghana's newest lottery game draws live on Adom TV at 9 a.m., 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. daily. Now pick up your phones, tablets and computers and download the Game Park Games app on Play Store. You can also play on their website at www.gameparkgames.com or by dialing *946# on all networks. Just choose 4 numbers from 0 to 9. It's easy to play and easy to win. Charlie, make we play this game and make some moolah. Nobody beats our odds in Ghana. Game Park Games, more moolah, more power. This game is regulated by the National Lottery Authority and is not for persons under 18. Play responsibly. And charcoal has essential medicinal properties that help remove toxins from our bodies. The natural absorptive property of charcoal helps to remove the bacteria that produces bad breath in the mouth, hence giving you a fresh breath. Kel charcoal toothpaste has been formulated and produced under strict hygienic conditions with all the necessary production protocols and has been approved by the Food and Drugs Authority. Constant use of Kel charcoal toothpaste gives you a good fresh breath, whiter teeth, reduces dental plaque, makes the gum healthy and strong, prevents cavity, abscess, stomach, hangover, and so on. Kel charcoal toothpaste is recommended for adults and children above 6 years. Kel charcoal toothpaste for white teeth and fresh breath all day long. This is another quality product from Samara Company Limited. Kel charcoal toothpaste, happy smile. And Ayesoko, Betway's cash out just got way better. The enhanced early partial and auto cash out feature lets you cash your bets out early, cash out a portion of your ongoing bets, or even set your bets to cash out automatically. All this to give you way more control over every thrilling bet you place. Sign up today at betway.com.gh. Terms and conditions apply and is regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana and is not for persons under the age of 18. Betway, get way more. Amen Alternative Medical Hospital is where you can get to cure ailments through alternative medicine. And they say that God is the healer, but he does the healing through humans. And Amen Alternative Medical Hospital is one of the best alternative medicine hospitals in Ghana today. So for all your health consultations, counseling, physiotherapy and homeopathic medicine, Amen Alternative Medical Hospital has the best for you. And it's the first to modernize herbal and homeopathy medicine in Ghana. They have the best medical practitioners from KNUST with a state-of-the-art medical equipment curated for your need. The most obscure ailments can be diagnosed and taken care of. You can find them at Klagon on the Lashibi Asherman Road near the Underbridge from Monday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Sundays 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. You can reach them on 0207-229-505 or 0244-227-192 to book your appointments. Amen Alternative Medical Hospital, God is the healer. And finally, let me just speak to you about the MTN Caller tunes. And MTN keeps giving you the opportunity to get rewarded for all the things that you love doing anyway. So if you're ready to treat your callers to good tunes while you win incredible rewards, earn points by purchasing, renewing, copying, or gifting your favorite caller tunes, and you can win amazing prizes based on your total accumulated points. Build as many points as possible, and you can win tons of data to stay connected to the things you love, or you can win an amazing 10,000 Ghana cedis cash prize to splash on your favorite things. It's the perfect way to entertain your callers with music and get rewarded at the same time. Start collecting your Caller Tunes points today. Visit callertunes.mtn.com.gh, spell Caller Tunes with a Z, not the S. Or just dial *1355# to get started on the MTN Caller Tunes service. This promo lasts till the 7th of November 2023, and terms and conditions apply. Okay, so the effects of the Akosombo spillage is still on. The rains are still falling. There's no end in sight. But there's a lot happening. people have been completely displaced. And I am sure that we do not know how this is really going to end. But there's a lot happening. I've seen the members of parliament in the area and many other people stand with their people. I've seen spirited Ghanaians and Ghanaian companies come up. I've seen people show leadership. I've also seen people in leadership show something far from leadership. I've seen a lot really happening. This is affecting livelihoods, it's affecting education, it's affecting health, it's affecting the very existence of the people. And I'm sure that perhaps the ramifications of what is happening could well be known maybe decades later. And as you've seen with all the videos and the various reports from the places, this is a potential health hazard. There is perhaps a health calamity that is waiting to strike sooner rather than later. And I grieve anytime I listen, read, or watch what is happening as far as the Akosombo Dam spillage is concerned. Eduji, yes, let me start off with you. Okay. How could a country like Ghana be caught in 6s and 7s over something which was planned and regulated? Sure. How could we be caught in 6s and 7s?
And so, Randy, and I anytime I'm discussing this issue, I try to remain, because when you go there and you see the extent of the devastation, your approach to it becomes different.
So Annie Ampofo is there, and we'll be showing you videos of what she's covered so far this morning whilst the discussion is ongoing. We'll let you see what Annie has been covering from this early morning and some of the affected areas.
So, Randy, on Saturday, I went there with my friend, Francis Kolu.
Yes.
To do donation about 600 pieces of mosquito nets, because within the Mepe area, we are beginning to suspect that when you go to the St. Kizito school, where they are camping them, the issue of mosquito and others was becoming an issue. So on Saturday, that number of mosquito nets were shared with food items. I've also on Tuesday joined Mr. Ibrahim Mahama, the CEO of Engineers and Planners, Data Cement, among others, to go to Mefe and to do donation of about 20,000 bags of 5 kilo of rice, about 24,000 pieces of canned fish, about 1,000 pieces of mattresses, among other things. And as you know, with Mr. Ibrahim Mahama, you would want to go there and assess what he can do by way of earthwork, among other things. I've also seen a video of your own good brother, the AstroTurf
Coleman.
My brother Robert Coleman, Stephen Appiah and co, and many well wishers. My brother Godwin Tamaklo, who also went there to share items. The response from private individuals has so far been very phenomenal, and I want to thank them for whatever they have done. You see, Randy, I want to describe what has happened so far to be man-made. I say it is not a natural disaster, and I say this without any equivocation. Why do I say it is a man-made disaster? Randy, available data suggests that if you look at June 2022, the water level in the reservoir and you compare the water level as of June 2023, anybody, any planner would know that the water level as of June 2022 was almost 6 times the water level as of June 2022. So what it tells you already is that, look, we are heading towards a big problem ahead of us. And therefore, it requires proactive leadership. In the year 2010, when the water level got to the point, almost 172, duty bearers did not wait. VRA, Ministry of Interior, because of the security implication of a spill, and the Ministry of Energy, here, the energy implication, because if you spill beyond certain level, it will affect how much water is also in the dam. So these interministerial sectorial agencies all met and supervised this process. Randy, in the specific case of the 15 September 2023 spill, nothing of that sort happened. I've heard people say, oh, they had gone there to do simulation among other things. Far-fetched. Completely far-fetched. Because, Randy, what has happened is that the VRA officials, also looking at the possibility that if they spill too much, it can result in doomsday, decided to adopt a wait-and-see strategy. So by September, the water level had gotten to the point where if you don't spill too much, you undermine the integrity of the dam itself. And hence, the problem that we are facing. In 2010, when this thing happened, nobody saw this level of devastation. So already on the face of even their own conduct, one can see issues of negligence, complete negligence, complete inaction, and for want of a better word, deliberation. Because, Randy, we had the opportunity to have done this in a regulated manner, starting from June, gradually. Then you know have gotten about 2 billion cubic feet of water accumulated in the dam, which had resulted. So because they have so much water in the reservoir, now they had to spill more. And you see, Randy, VRA had a dredging unit. Because you see, at the tail end, the estuary, water moves with sand. And so it dredges the tail end, it silts the tail end. So that dredging unit had a responsibility that prior to this, they would have opened up the estuary. That was not done. So if you look at the record, duty bearers effectively just went to sleep. And we woke up one morning, the huge disaster. If you do a tour, an assessment, you notice that the Mepe area looks like the epicenter of the crisis. Simply because Mepe is where the Volta Lake or river meanders. And because it's also low-lying, then they just took everything to town. I saw a situation where cemeteries are completely taken over by water. The road from Mepe to Sogakope is completely taken over. You have a situation where now people are using canoe or boats on roads, ironically. And so if you pick all of this information, how duty bearers acted irresponsibly, acted with a lot of inaction, you'd expect that government officials, when they are speaking, would do so with salt. Their language will be salted. We saw how the president, in the midst of this crisis, started talking about votes. Oh, you, if it's about who votes for me, who doesn't, I won't even come here. Mr. President, you are still living, believing that you are doing us a favor. You are not. In any case, what has your presence there even done to the people? It even came to annoy them. As for the vice president, like I pointed out the last time, he was out there looking for votes in the midst of the crisis until his boss returned from the US, only for him belatedly to run to the people. As the acting president, when the crisis happened, there was a certain leadership response that was required. Nothing of that sort. I've heard the deputy minister, I think Westenhausen, basically now gaslight the people.
Who's that?
Frida.
No, she's the Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources.
Oh, she took over from Madam Cecilia Dapa.
Yes.
And look at the kind of thing that she's saying to the people. Randy, even for the sake of argument, let's even say that what she's saying is even the correct thing to say in the midst of this crisis. Randy, when VRA decided, according to them, they had done simulation and it was clear that the level was going to be problematic. Did VRA even put a tent, looking like hen coop, somewhere that, hey, I am coming to effectively do forced evacuation. So when it happens, go and stay in these hen coops. Nothing of that sort. So when the minister says that, oh, the people should have moved to where, Madam Minister? Madam Minister. So if you listen from the president, the minister, the obvious lack of emotional intelligence demonstrated, one begins to feel that either the president has checked out, he doesn't care anymore, or the minister does not even appreciate the extent of her work as a minister of state. How did we even get here, Randy? When, if small, proper planning would have avoided all of these things. In any case, like I pointed out, this is not the first time that we are spilling. This is not. It was done 73. It was done in the 80s. It was done in the 90s. As late as 2010, it was done. Each one of these did not see this level of devastation. How come that we are having it now? Because duty bearers went to sleep.
Since the person, the lady you spoke about, the Honorable Minister, she is Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources.
Okay, Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources.
Okay. Now, this is exactly what she said, and I want to deal with the quotes. And she was speaking at a forum organized by the Ghana Water Company Limited and its customers in Accra. Quote, the Akosombo Dam spillage, even though Volta River Authority, National Disaster Management Organization, the Water Resources Commission, came together to educate the people in the community and did simulation exercises with them, even at Mepe. Yet they refused to leave. They did not want to be evacuated. And they stayed there till the end when we started spilling. Unfortunately, look at what is happening. And the government has to spend millions of money on relief items and education. The water in the whole area is contaminated, and the Ghana Water Company and Water Resources Commission will have to spend millions of money to treat the water before we can pass it through our pipes. So a stitch in time saves 9. Sometimes it's difficult to accept the situation, but we will plead with all of you to accept it as it is. Water is life and is essential to everything. Okay, so
you see, Randy, so she completely got it wrong. When you spill this volume of water and the water will find its way and goes to people's houses. How is that their fault? They are not responsible for the late spillage of the dam. They are not responsible. Now they claim that they've been asked to move. Randy, if government had prudently established a relocation camp for the people, who will still be at his place? Two, when the minister says that the people didn't move, Randy, do you know why? This particular thing, beyond the loss of properties, there have not been any loss of life. It's because the people acted proactively. If the people had stayed, and Randy, if you look at where the water level had reached in the roof of some people, their houses and others, if they were not proactive, they would have been drowned. But because the people responded to calls from official or duty bearers, that is why you notice that it is their properties that have been damaged and not their lives. And government did not make any provision whatsoever by way of relocation or even establishing relocation camp. So, Madam Minister, it appears she herself has not even visited the place. She doesn't even know what she's talking about. If she had taken the pain to visit the affected people, to know exactly the condition they find themselves in, she will not be making this emotionally unintelligent comment. And I feel so sad that she will be saying these kind of things. What the people there need now is empathy. Psychologists, among others, will be able to help them out of the trauma. Doctors who will begin to do assessment of the health implication. Look, on this note, I want to at least acknowledge the effort by the education minister, subsequently though, to assess the damage relative to educational infrastructure within the locality. Randy, today, most of the people affected, they are having to stay in classrooms. So the classrooms have been turned into makeshift dwelling places for the persons who have been displaced. See, Randy, if you pick a town like Mepe, you know this is not the original place. It used to be a bit more closer until in the 1960s when the decision was made to construct the dam. And then they had to move to the current location. If you go to New Bakwa and all those surrounding communities, you notice that where they are now are not the original settlement. If you go to the upper part of the Volta, the Kratchi areas, Kabete, Tepa, Abotuase, Dambai, and the rest, you notice that that is not the original settlement. They have to be relocated. And I've always maintained, if this morning you are even watching us on television, you have charged your phone fully that you are able to watch online, and you do so by way of electricity, remember that the pain that the people are going through now is the sacrifices they have to pay for you and I to have the benefit of electricity in this country. Now, when people sacrifice this much for the building of a national asset, ministers of state should not be acting in this manner. It is most reckless, it's unfair, it's insensitive, it does not appreciate the pain that the people are going through in the specific areas. And so, Randy, I think this point ought to be drummed home clearly, that government is not doing them a favor, Madam Minister. Thank you, Randy.
So on the 12th of September, this was a release from the VRA before they started
the 15th spillage.
It says the Volta River Authority wishes to inform the general public that it has observed a consistent rise in the inflow pattern and water level of the Akosombo Dam. In line with our emergency preparedness plan and standard operating procedures, the Volta River Authority has duly notified its key stakeholders of this development. The reservoir level as of today suggests that we may need to commence controlled spilling in the coming days should the situation persist. VRA therefore wishes to caution all residents, and please listen to this carefully. VRA therefore wishes to caution all residents along the Volta River and downstream of our Akosombo and Kpong dams to be on alert and take the necessary precautionary measures. VRA will continue to monitor the situation, work with our key stakeholders, and provide regular updates to ensure prompt response to any emergency that may arise. This was 3 days before
and you see, Randy, I have even made the point that for the sake of transparency, for the sake of accountability, let VRA publish the simulation report that was done from June till September when the spill actually. They should publish them.
No, but if you look at the 12th report,
I get it, but
this is a statement issued on the 12th. This is not a statement that is even telling you that people have been asked to evacuate, or the VRA has is facilitating evacuation.
Moral suasion.
Yes, it's facilitating evacuation, and people are refusing to evacuate.
And so when the minister,
if you read the statement from the MEPE Development Association, they raise some key issues. They say that first of all, they're asking for answers to these questions. Can the minister tell the nation which parts of MEPE traditional area, the VRA and NADMO conducted a so-called simulation exercise before the spillage? How many people from MEPE were included in the said simulation exercise? How many times was the simulation exercise conducted? And how extensive was the community engagement? And they say that we wish to make it clear that the MEPE Traditional Council, MEPE Development Association, opinion leaders, and all key stakeholders were not engaged in any simulation exercise or post-simulation exercise as claimed by the minister. How such an important exercise could escape the eyes and ears of these key stakeholders in the community leaves one to wonder whether the monies expended on the simulation should not be refunded to the state coffers. The minister also mentioned that the people of MEPE refused to evacuate before the spillage. Evacuate to where? There were no official temporary shelter facilities provided by the state for the people in the event of an evacuation. It was the leadership of the MDA, that's the MEPE Development Association, in consultation with the chiefs, that took the initiative to create 7 makeshift safe havens for the affected flood victims in the following locations: MEPE RC Primary, RC JHS, MEPE Presby Primary, Presby JHS, DA JHS, Holy Christ, and St. Kizito Secondary Technical School. Out of these 7 safe havens, only St. Kizito, which currently houses 1,320 displaced persons, received 6 mobile toilets just this past Friday, provided by the VRA after persistent appeals. Just on Friday. Is the minister aware that over 1,000 displaced Ghanaian citizens are now relying on just 6 mobile toilets at St. Kizito? Is she informed that the remaining 6 safe havens in MEPE do not have any mobile toilets? And does she know that the displaced victims, including children and women, are exposed to mosquitoes and other dangerous reptiles every night? We also question how many litter bins, mosquito nets, and access to clean water for drinking, cooking, and bathing a Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources has provided the people of MEPE since the man-made flood disaster. The MDA calls on the minister to inform the nation about a ministry's response to the looming health crisis in the affected communities, the contamination of water sources, and the unsanitary conditions created by the flood. It is time for real action. Madam Minister, show up. As a community, we've had enough of misinformation and disinformation from official sources since the flood disaster occurred. We are still grieving and emotionally distraught. All we request is respect for our sensitivity and dignity during these challenging times in our history. We urge all state appointees and communicators to refrain from making ill-informed and uneducated comments that blame the flood victims for this state-created disaster. The state must acknowledge its role and take responsibility for the mess it has created, showing remorse and empathy towards the affected communities. Let us refrain from exacerbating the pain of our people, the poor and the vulnerable. Minister Freda Prempeh. The MDA calls on the minister to unreservedly and immediately apologize to the chiefs and people of MEPE for a misspoke and unfortunate comments.
You see, Randy, yes. Just to conclude on this, and you see, in all of this, Randy, but for the opinion leaders, the traditional authorities, the Mepe Deployment Association, their timely intervention would have been a worse crisis than what we are seeing today. This is a crisis that has never happened in the last 60 years. This is a crisis that has affected, Randy, in excess of 6 regions of this country: Bono, Oti, Volta, Eastern, Greater Accra. And the call on the president, okay, to declare a state of emergency that puts the matters in proper perspective had basically fallen on deaf ears. I don't know what is stopping Mr. Akufo-Addo from declaring a state of emergency. I don't know. Mr. President, if you declare a state of emergency, it will not reduce your salary. Rather, it puts all the national attention on the crisis that is happening now. The elders at the Council of State, among others, with respect, are you on leave? Are you on vacation?
Maybe they are in touch with the authorities, but obviously they will not be making public those discussions.
No, but you see, Randy, this is so. Look, there's a state in the U.S. One of these typhoons or whatever. It just happened a few days. The governor has already declared a state of emergency. That is how you resolve a crisis that has affected in excess of 5 regions out of 16. When was the last time we've had a national crisis of this nature? And so the body language of Mr. Akufo-Addo suggests a person who basically is downplaying the extent and magnitude of this crisis. And I find it extremely unfortunate. Extremely unfortunate. This is not how to govern. The misgovernance is too much. And the time had come for duty bearers to be more proactive when circumstances like this happen. I mean, these people didn't bring it upon themselves. They never did.
So we'll be crossing over to speak with Annie shortly. She is actually there now. Now, one of our viewers sends an interesting twist to this. He says the simulation exercise was dubbed Dawohusu, as in tree. It says that in a predominantly Krobo speaking areas, is it surprising that the message didn't sink in well? It says this shortcoming speaks volumes. Okay, so Dawohusu. Okay, all right. So that's some information that
maybe they had an interpreter.
We're actually getting. Okay, all right. Okay. So Makojo Boafo, as we get ready to cross over or to link up with Annie, Makojo Boafo is watching us in the States. It sent me something that happened in Libya in 2023. Says a catastrophic flooding that struck eastern Libya on September 10 and 11, 2023. More than 4,000 people were killed, some 10,000 were missing after heavy rains generated by Storm Daniel. That's a strong Mediterranean cyclone, drenched the area and brought flooding to the region. And he's saying that the dam started filling up around 8 p.m. But at midnight, it was only half full. It was between midnight and 2 a.m. that the water started rising at a dangerous speed. By 2 a.m., the water reached 2 meters above the dam, pouring over to the other side. That gradually weakened the dam structure, causing it to collapse. It says this is what happened in Libya. It says, should we have waited for a disaster to happen in Ghana before spilling? It says, it seems VRA was between the devil and the blue sea. Let's be measured in our criticism. That's his view on this issue. I think that the issue really is not about it's about what the VRA did.
It wasn't even sudden. Like his point, the Libyan situation was so sudden. This is not a sudden, increase in water levels. Mark.
Okay. Doc, let me bring you in.
Yes. Let me first of all commend those all who have put in some effort at such a difficult time for our brothers and sisters who are in that particular geographical area. We've had visits from the NADMO Director General. We've had visits from the President himself to the place. I've seen Son of Man at many places. Honorable Alex Hotojet is my very good brother and friend.
Centraton.
Yes. And I've also seen people like First Sky. I mean, the company making strong presence, building. They've started building close to they are working on 500 houses or houses for the people. I've also seen Brian Mahama has also been there.
Robert Coleman and Co.
Dr. Baumia himself has also visited, giving some personal support. I've seen Coleman. Doc, I'm deliberately doing this to show that in times of crisis, the energy should be focused on what can be done now to alleviate the burden of the people. And the best way to know what to be done is to put yourself in their shoes. Just imagine your house, water comes into the house and fills your room. Immediately, you can't access your clothes. You might not be able to use your washroom. So you need those essential basic facilities like whether provisional or emergency toilets that can be built. You need sanitaries, even basic things like tissue paper and all that. So, and food. You know, and as a physician or public health person, heating is extremely powerful in such situations. Anyone with the technology to provide heating, anything you drink in such situation, once you heat it, you are largely, you are going to be saved 90% plus from waterborne diseases. Food, if you heat it, you are likely to be safe. So heat is one of your best, in the absence of medicines and purifiers, heat is magic. And look, cold, staying out in the cold, shelter which is not proper, can expose you to chest issues. Pneumonia basically means your chest is inflamed. So again, heating. And that is why those who go for camping, they don't joke with firewood. I mean, some form of heating. So this is the best time for those with heating technologies to get close to NADMO.
All right, so what you're watching now is live footage from the affected areas where Annie Ampofu is actually there. Is she the one playing soccer? Oh, okay. Hey, okay. So that's her place.
Right. Good morning to you, Randy, and you're welcome. Welcome back. Right. So, what I was just doing was playing with some children, really. Some of the children are in class. We would say that schools under trees are back, right in this community because of the situation. And so we've just moved from the Kizito SHS complex, where all kinds of schools are mixed together. So this is how the classes are arranged. We have class 4, 5, and 6 put together. From any other school that you're coming from, you can actually be in that particular class. And then we have the kindergarten, you know, those little ones that are also being moderated by some of the volunteer teachers. We also have the JHS. Either you're coming from JHS 1, 2, 3, put together from different schools, also under another part of the trees where there's shade, of course. So they put some of the benches, and the students have been quite supportive, you know, playing their role as students and also attending to the calls of the teachers. And these teachers, I'm talking about volunteers, which I understand were provided by the MP of this area, Northtown, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa. And so these teachers are also willing to help keep the children engaged as we go through this phase. We arrived in this community, Mepep community, around 5 a.m. and by 5:30 to 6 we were on the boat, where some of the riders who helped move people from one bank to the other also helped carry us through the boat. And then we got here. The experience on the water is another story, but for the purposes of this program, let's give you just an idea of how the MEPE JHS looks like. So if you can see around you, activities have started, but the normal one is if you're not
All right, I think that we lost.
At night you go to bed. If you have things to wash, you wash them. That's if you have good water. Now, let's look at how the tents, in this particular safe haven, we have about 3 tents put up by the military. And if the camera can help us capture how it looks like inside. In the morning, in the evening, I'm told that it gets very cold in the tent. But during the day, I'm in here. It's really, really hot. The next 5 minutes, I'll be sweating profusely. So this is how it looks like. Now, a tent of this size is carrying about 15 to 20 people. Some of them is about 10, 12 people. The classrooms have about 25 to 30 people. And if you have mattresses, those who are donating, by the situation I'm seeing here, I will just use it to plead that more people should continue to donate through all the avenues that people have opened for the donations to come in. So on the normal day, this is how inside the canopy looks like. You put your mattress aside, whatever you're lying on. If you need utensils to cook, you take them out, and then they put the place in order until they have to come back in the evening to sleep. We're moving to the classrooms which have been taken over by the victims, and so no normal activities can happen in the classroom, but the current classroom is now turned into bedrooms or homes of people. And so all we see around here is the normal day, how the normal day looks like. Those who can be in the schools under trees are already gone. That's the children. There are people who don't work. They've lost their jobs. As far as I'm concerned, I've spoken to a woman who was a hairdresser, and her whole salon has been taken over by the floods. So a woman like that for now has absolutely nothing to do. She wakes up in the morning, looks at the sun until the moon comes up, and then she goes to bed after eating. So this is not a room for one person, but for more than 30 people. There are utensils, there are bowls, there are buckets, there are water, there's some maize, there's what they've been able to salvage. That's what they have done. It will carry them throughout the day. For my questions, they don't cook together as a family. They've come here as different families, and when they are cooking, everybody caters for their family. So when those who donate come,
all right, so we'll try and link back to Annie, who's right there, and we keep having some breaks as far as thing is concerned. I'm sure we have her back.
We've had some of the persons who have turned the canopies into drawing lines. So the hooks that are helping the canopies up have been used as drawing lines. So if you pan across all the way there, you can see that some people have dried their clothes on the canopy hooks so that they can also have their items that they've washed, dried. So that's how it looks like. This is actually the MEPE JHS school.
All right, okay. So we'll try and get back to Annie later on with the report. And if you're listening to me, don't sit on the canoe or boat without a life jacket again. Please don't do that. Anyway, Doc.
Yeah, Doc. So let me say that one thing which I've observed, which is what I say worrying or we should avoid for now, is this issue of trying to assess the performance of stakeholders or trying to see the level of input and trying to audit the causes now whilst the crisis is still looming. You know, recently I was watching CNN, and one of the leaders for the spokespersons for the IDF, Israeli Defense Forces, was asked, does he think the cabinet or their prime minister slept on the job? Look at the fact that people could enter the territories and kill. The answer was that as they speak now, they are in a war situation. It's not a time to start doing an assessment of which minister slept and which prime minister didn't do his work well. They had to contain the situation. After containing it, they will come to the table. So I would encourage all that we take such a position. Let's see how much we can support, do for the people now. Individuals, government, stakeholders, church, clergy, journalists, let's come on board fully. When we are done, when the situation is under control, we can come to the drawing board, with whiteboard these days, check whether the technical delivery of the dredging department at VRA was on point, check whether there's culpability or a slip on the duty of care. All these things can be looked at. But for now.
But Doc, as you speak this way,
yeah,
the minister for sanitation and water resources is calling out the people. It's telling us all that the people were asked to evacuate. They didn't evacuate.
Yes.
They have created this problem. And that their recalcitrance has even created problems.
Yeah.
And we'll have to spend millions to treat water.
No, you see, forgive me, I don't want to go into territories where I'll spend my energy on. No, you see, Eduji, look, there are people, I'll not mention names. If you listen to their comments when this disaster started to unfold, from the word go, instead of looking at what can be done for the people or calling authorities even to come and help the people, they started on a note like, oh, we don't see you much here because you are not for us. And it's this thing of regionalism, of bipartisanship. It was playing out. I don't want to spend energy on that. My issue is that when people find themselves, look, it's fair to say that, okay, Ministry of Sanitation, you've not given them alternative sources of water. You can get water tankers. That is the kind of criticism I want. A criticism that points to a deficiency and shows what someone should do. It's fair. Let's push it in that angle. If you do that, you get a lot of results.
But okay, boy, why would you blame people when, for example, the president of the republic himself, he goes there, and whether it is in jest or not, I don't know who jokes in a crisis situation. I don't know which leader does that.
No.
I don't know. But when the president himself, in speaking to the people, whether he said it in jest, whether it was a dose of humor, whether it was a joke, he alluded to something that you are saying we should not even be looking at.
Look, so the president has made a statement. I mean, those who listen, those who are watching, you have people having different kinds of commentary on when it was said, where it was said, why was it said. Look, at the same time, there is a lot of activity happening from both government and non-government sources.
Yes.
My advice is that let's spend our energy on throwing more light on energies or efforts that are bringing some relief to those in the condition.
Okay.
Because usually as human beings, we have a choice to channel our energy as to where we send it. And it is not...
I agree with you 101%.
Yes.
But guess what? A statement by a person in leadership is what is generated
As for
people who are suffering. So these are people who are in a situation.
No, I understand. No, this advice will even help to prevent further releases. The advice, as for MEPE, you know, Stoner, they are one of their key actors, is my very, very good friend. Stoner actually has been very helpful. If I have programs and I don't have medicine for my boys, he helps me with medicine. So he's the owner of Olives along the Sprinters, sells all kinds of drinks for men.
Huh?
Olives.
I don't know that.
But the qualification drink for me.
Oh yeah, it says on every kind
Are
of.
you aware?
I mean, I don't know what
As director of FT.
I beg.
No,
Director Liga.
So Doc, along the splinters, you have
Ferguson has sent a message or what?
Already.
No.
Propaganda.
Olives.
He had already called me out for not properly. I mean, acknowledging you as director leader first, and also chief executive of FT Company Limited. And the chief executive of FT Company Limited does not know where they sell. Is that medicine for what? Men?
I don't know what he's talking about.
Yes, Freeman, but I call him. A lot of people call him Stoner. Very active in Mepe, and in fact, he nearly got me to their last festival.
Yes.
So he's my brother. I'll beg him. I know they've been doing a lot to help their people.
Yes.
They should not let the commentary of whether state or non-state actors take them from that focus. When things settle, Doc, that is when, if there are discussions, I might put in some energy on it. But for now, look, I even came with an envelope. Doc, your fund. You know, I've been waiting for you since they scored us 4-0 whilst you were in the States. I've kept this fund for the Metro Fund for the people. So right on the show, action. And I encourage the AG in opposition to also come on board.
You know, when we came,
Asian director of FT.
when we came in the morning, he prompted me that he will put me on the spot. That he had come fully clothed.
And Doc, I'm not joking. It's
It's just, I mean, it's just.
If you look at the size.
He inflated the envelope.
So Doc, we can do a lot. And look, at the heart of all our politicking and all our busy schedules, this is time to show that you are a human being. This is time to show that, in fact, this is a time to show the humanity that is in all of us. And I would encourage people, as for commentary, Doc, you know, emotional intelligence varies amongst people. You know, how people were brought up, their values and principles for their public activities. A lot of things come into play to determine how people respond to such things. And my advice is that let's channel our energies into providing relief now. I've mentioned that sources of heat are wonderful in such times. It keeps people warm to avoid chest conditions. It keeps their food safe, their drink safe. Ask yourself, what can I do? If it's a solar lamp, I know NADMO, they are doing something. I was impressed with Ibrahim. I only felt that the amount of rice I saw, it could even go into next year in terms of supply.
It's for many other constituencies. You know,
said 20,000 households. 20,000 households.
You know, you are looking
but
at
you know,
Anglon, Keita.
When it rained, even at Jukuku, a few people had some.
So some should come there.
I'll talk to him. Look,
CEO
take your
of
time.
NHI.
But we are brothers.
Oh, Master.
So ask for help. It can go anywhere.
I was even thinking that you'll be asking for more relief for OT.
Maybe you should build a settlement camp at your stadium.
The Astro for relocation.
Well, you have to tell me. I mean, kudos. Myself, I've talked to Honorable Ablakwa. He's my senior in Presec. I've sent some support at a personal level. Hoto J is also my brother. I've sent some support on the personal level. The only person I've not minded in this time is the lawyer, Daphne. I'll look for him too. And
the Germany areas have been seriously affected.
So Doc,
I think you should extend help to the OT region.
In fact, as we speak, our health insurance officers are also on the ground. You know, Ghana Health Service issued a statement that everybody should access healthcare irrespective of their card. We are trying to see how we can rope all those. The good thing is that in those areas, registration is high, penetration is high. About 80% of the population are covered. So we have to rope in everybody through an emergency route so that the hospitals can get some money after the care. Because what you don't want to happen is for them to provide care based on a directive, only now to suffer, operational issues because of deficits that come in the wake of such disaster. So our prayers and our money, our effort, and this is not a time to only pray for people. You have to come on board with something. And I'm happy about your fund. Just that because you were not in town, all the boys were asking me, what about Metro's fund? I said, oh, they should wait. You were part of the team that received the 4 goals at the US. When you come, we'll work on all this. So the money is here.
All right. You see, Randy, you know, when you were making this comment, I strongly believe that when we put this information out, is to ensure that in future, duty bearers will not go to sleep. You drew a certain analogy with the situation in Israel. I've heard the Foreign Affairs Minister of Israel criticize Benjamin Netanyahu that there was a system failure or intelligence failure resulting in what has happened. What it does is that it puts you alert. In fact, the people who were supposed to be Da Omohoso were supposed to be the VRA people and not the indigents in the affected communities. And you see, Randy, all that we are trying to do is to construct a country based on fair criticism. I gave you the specific scenario where in 2010, the ministers of energy, Professor Otin Ejei, the interior minister then, Kweku Awotwe of VRA, all of them together ensured that the spill was done without this impact. It is something that is doable. And it is because of a certain failure that is where we are. Look, would you be surprised to know that to date, your energy minister has not been to the community? This is coming from one of the major energy producers, quote unquote, VRA, an institution that falls directly under the Ministry of Energy. Don't you think it would be impactful, at least for him to do a duty tour of the affected community to appreciate firsthand the issues that are going on? So when we raise these concerns, it is not because we want to make anybody look bad or good. This is a matter of being responsible. Nothing more, nothing else. Look, corporate agencies are going there at nobody's prompting. First guy, I saw Mr. Eric himself there. And he said, look, it's not enough just giving them tent and others.
But you know, VIP has been there.
Let's even do places where the people can temporarily be housed. Randy, you know, on Saturday was there, and you said it. Water and heat goes together in such crisis. There's this company, Narrow Water, Bella, Kwa, and Co. They were all there just to get the people.
Cancer, didn't you see my man there?
After the fact.
Who is your man?
He said the VIP. After the fact. At the time when the people really needed him, he was campaigning.
Oh, but you know he was on the tour whilst the thing broke. Yes. So usually they will tell you the situation and then inform you as to how to step. You don't just
please don't do this for him. The vice president knows what to do. In fact, he could just be on even a helicopter to do it. He never did. He was campaigning. If later on, his advisors prompted him that, look, this one is a no. Because you were the acting president.
But you saw him there when he...
Oh, yeah, he even gave 100,000. I saw...
You know, it's a personal...
Oh, okay.
It's not government.
Oh, okay. I thought it's government. So, Randy, for me, it's about ensuring that we avoid certain happening next year.
Dr. Hubert.
Where are we here?
Do you know Mr. Kwabena Egua, the writer?
The prolific.
Yes.
He's still writing.
Yes. You know him.
Yes,
sports
the
writers.
of Africa Sports.
Yes, I know.
The SWAC president.
Yes.
And host of Sports Highlights on GTV.
In fact, when Randy, the interesting thing is that sometimes when I see him, I say, hey, this man, as young kids in Pando, Mondays. I mean, he was the one who came. Football made in Germany.
Yeah.
You remember those days?
Yes, that was
yes. And I mean, you do
Sports Highlights.
Yes, Sports Highlights.
Okay.
And those days, their major, this thing was Toyota Land Cruiser Prado. You know, the advert will be running in the background. I mean, it's been so phenomenal.
I'm sure you were watching when you were presec.
Yes.
Okay. It says, please tell Dr. Kuboy, I love him. Some may accuse him of being a Sergio Ramos, but he's a very decent defender. Other politicians may take a cue.
I don't know whether to be happy or.
Oh, you be happy?
Yeah.
No, the Sergio Ramos bit may look like a defender of everything.
The original Sergio Ramos is Nana Kumia. Okay, so there's this technical bit. I just got this, which is we're talking about. It says that engineers are currently at KG near Kita, trying to create a canal so that water from the Kita Lagoon can flow into the sea to prevent villages like Anyako being submerged. The people around KG were up in arms to prevent creation of the canal for fear of water from the sea flowing into their houses. Soldiers were brought in to prevent any clashes. The water levels in the lagoon increased because the water enters the lagoon at Atoko. My point is, it doesn't appear government or NADMO has readied itself with relief items and measures to mitigate the effects of what is about to happen. And it sends a video to illustrate that as well. We need to go, but okay, so Judah Gumava says what we need now is a resettlement of the victims of the spillage. The government must put out plans to start the construction of houses or shelters for people. The government efforts have been so lackadaisical. And Doc, what did you say? What was the name of the shop you mentioned? The place you
Olives.
Ferguson Estate.
So Ferguson says that Olives is my joint. It's opposite Kogas Furniture.
I'm telling you.
I go there with Eduji, my director of
Randy,
yes.
30 seconds.
Yes.
I was at the Faculty of Law, University of Ghana, for my LLB, and that's where I'm doing the LLM as well.
Okay.
We have decided, the faculty have decided to build an ultra-modern facility to house the growing demand for legal education, among other things. And so I want to use your platform.
For professional legal education? Or
yes, the LLB and everything, the LLM, the different courses, to meet the changing needs of legal education, among other things. And so we are asking resourceful persons like you, Dr. Kuboy, to come and assist the faculty. In fact, what we have done is that we have zoned the various faculties. How much is required to
let's finish with that.
How much is good to build a faculty? So you can so he can take a whole course like ocean law and then pay for the whole.
Or flat law.
I beg you. What
we are dealing with flats now.
Down management law. So that's it. So Randy would need your support. Use your platform.
Professor Raymond Atuguba is doing a great job.
In fact, it's been absolutely phenomenal.
I think it was last year or so when was it the Honorable Defumakbo who sent me the new LLM programs, courses. And when I saw the areas of specialization,
the level of
I thought
innovation by Professor Atuguba,
it was in response to changing trends and, of course, projections into the future. So having a lot of specialization.
We have financial engineers, but it looks like Atuguba is a legal engineer.
Yes.
To look at the kind.
To meet current trends. One of the courses now is financial markets. Issues about bonds and all of those things. A lot of times when you are talking about legal issues and what have you, maybe you add that one to it. And we do the comparison.
I'll tell you the two of us should go
the financial engineering. So Randy, so that's on it. So this is my faculty. So we are pleading with you to come and join us.
So when you, I'm sure that the Department of FT can be able to make some savings.
Apart from this, which is coming to your fund, I just want to announce that the MEPET Development Association, I have a package for them as well.
So what is the NHIA doing? Is the NHIA doing something?
Yeah, so we have a plan.
NHA rather, or is NHIA?
IS. The scheme.
NHIS.
Yes.
You are not an authority.
So the authority.
There's two, A and S.
I'm talking about the A. The A is the institution.
But it's largely, sometimes it's It's like both.
My question is what the institution...
The authority.
Yeah. So the plan is to roll everybody on automatically.
Those there?
Yes, those there. So that
but how are they going to access the healthcare? I think the problem they have now is also access.
Yeah,
because the hospitals themselves, the clinics are submerged.
So usually we
go to Kombuni, the whole place is taken over.
You are a doctor. With the scenes you see,
yeah.
I mean, the potential health hazards. I've heard people say that look, waste facilities have actually been submerged. So the entire waste is being exposed. The water has been exposed to all those things.
The whole, the public place of
That's what I said.
The issues about the mosquitoes.
Submerged.
If you look at their statement, they are even saying that apart from one camp, the St. Kizito, which got 6 mobile toilets just Friday from VRA, the others don't even have those facilities.
I think, Randy, to be honest, the Ghana Medical Association, they've been extremely proactive. Immediately they issued the crisis. They've been there trying to help.
Yeah, there are provisional structures to put in place. So we also work with Ghana Health Service, the Ministry of Health. Mass spraying in those communities are things that can be done. They are all involved. So we work together.
But you've not started those things.
Oh, I have to check with the ministry because some are not within our mandate, like spraying, doing the mass spraying, providing camps that serve as emergency treatment centers. All this. It's only when I liaise with or I get in touch with
the speed. Can we apply the speed with which we provided the so-called meals for Accra, Kasua, and Greater Kumasi? Can we apply that?
Hold on. The same speed is possible. It is possible.
It is what?
You said it's possible.
But you are asking whether it's possible to.
After 1 week, you are still saying it's possible.
Oh, it should be done.
After 1 week.
Okay.
I'm sure you've heard the joke about being on top and doing nothing.
Hey, Randy, this morning.
That's an FTC.
This morning. Randy.
Special greetings to First Sky.
Okay.
First Sky is wonderful in all this.
Mr. Eric Kutochi.
Yes, Eric has been.
And I just told him that I want to get few shares in Heart of Lions. So I should tell you. I'm interested.
Is that how to buy shares?
Oh.
Is that how to buy shares?
But I'm here to attend the course.
Why is sitting in front of the shareholder?
Can you imagine?
He's speaking in
coded language. This one is coded language.
No. So greetings to Awakwata, the roads minister. Recently 20 contractors came out.
He said he has not taken any money out from
Meanwhile, the interesting thing, he himself had come out to say that his workers are corrupt.
Doc, the show is over. This greetings time.
I was surprised.
Doc, he is my uncle. So I have a bias when it comes to him.
Okay.
So let me admit that bias.
You are lobbying for some of your roles.
Oh, he's my uncle.
Okay.
And I give him special greetings. And finally, the chief of staff, who is both of us, our mother. Special greetings to her. And my prayers are with her always.
You've left the first lady.
As for me, she's my stepmother, not my mother.
You've left the first lady.
The first lady.
She's your mother. Me, she's my stepmother.
Oh, really? But his mother at the end of the day?
No.
So your stepsister is Martha.
Who is Martha?
Oh, you didn't know. You said that you are not a proper stepmother.
Please, stepmother with their context. I don't know anything
I know, right?
Anyway, okay. So thanks, gentlemen, for joining me, and we'll continue the discussion. And I'd like to appeal to all of us, to try and reach within ourselves and try and help in whichever way we can. Let's do the best that we can in whichever way that we can. Like they say in Chiki, so let's do whatever we can to help our people, whilst we also get our government to move. The last time I read, there was some statement about some number of ministers and all manner of people who've been set up into a committee. Well, maybe they are bringing some $100 billion relief. We don't know when they're going to bring that, but let's still reach out. And this is why I salute the Jospong Group Mr. Sian Japon and his team for what they've done, Mr. Eric Kutoche and the First Sky Group, Mr. Ibrahim Mahama and engineers and planners. And I saw Mrs. Una Mahama in the video. I was excited to see you, Una. Good morning. And of course, Robert Coleman. We've seen. I think one of the World Health Organization.
Yes.
People, they've also done something there. Yes.
Stephen Appiah was there.
Yes, Stephen was with Wembley and Nathaniel Atto. Yes. A lot of people have been. And many individuals.
Randy,
many
you know
individuals.
the Association of Engineers or Planners and what have
Yes.
you, and Architects.
They were there.
Gisela Tete and Co.
They've gone there.
Association.
They built
there.
environment people. They've also been there. People keep going. A lot of individuals that we perhaps don't know, and we cannot acknowledge everybody. Sure. But a lot of people are doing very well. Even schools. I mean, nursery schools, primary schools. They are all raising some relief towards the alleviation of the suffering of our people up there. Let's continue to do a lot more. Empathy is very, very important at this stage. But leadership is also priceless. It must be priceless at this stage. Up next, GMG Trends. Thanks, gentlemen, for joining me.
Pascal is showing his boss the efficient new technology they've installed. She is pleased, but now she's asking, why is that still there? Pascal explains that he hired a security guard to protect the data shed. The boss is not so pleased anymore. If you haven't upgraded to cloud storage yet, it's time to get business done better with MTN Business.
Step into success with Accra Business School. Boost your career with a prestigious MSc degrees from KNUST. Pick from Human Resource Management, Communication and International Relations, Public Affairs in just 12 months. Our MBA can be yours. Dive into our BSc programs in IT Security and Cybercrime, IT Management and Business and Management, endorsed by top universities in Ireland and Wales. We offer flexible entry, payment and learning options. It's time to unlock your potential and take flight. Visit www.abs.edu.gh or dial 0263 888 555. Let Accra Business School elevate your future today.
Yamawakwa ba the ba Nadum Auto Fix and Accessories. Ahadie e ba no ka siesie ne ho akade a. Ubenya bibie bi wa ha. Ka bia ne ne haw ene ne ohia. Yenso ye wo ho animdefo a obeso anu yi amaw. Nadum Auto Fix and Accessories ye dwumedie de. Eye 24/7 o. Ye siesie wo engine, wo brake, battery, yesesa wo tire. Se ba no car wash de a. Ye wo abefun fidie bi ti se steamer ye de horo car engine abra nsuo nko engine nim. Ye san ye detailing metre se ye betwetwe car ne mu ba bia amaw. Ye wi a ya san polish car na maw kama. Enye we no monko ye san to car batteries, tires, rims, any de keke kan. Manadum Auto Fix and Accessories Emma o car ensi ne dedem na nwu adwuma maw. Hwehwe ye chira kwan wodansoma na sorry dan ho a ene KFC bon hwanimu e won kran. Se wo information anansem bi se bia Fresh 024 651 9369. Nadum Auto Fix and Accessories. So young papa.
My son, there's more blessing in giving than receiving. When you fear for and cover the makers in Sranu.
The pneumatological abrasion of the Lord revealed unto me this night that me and my household should go out into the world and bless the world.
Makers Electronics Company Limited. Up to 67% discount. Our selected appliances.
This is what I call quintessential immaculatability.
The Makers Electronics Company Limited. Taifa Burkina Highway. Amasama Zongo Junction. Edike Pharmacy Dining. Oyer Fateman Boga Junction. Ashaman Valco Flat. Kumasi. Ahinema Kokobin. Asafu Bwachi Hospital Junction. Sakwadi. Kuma. Number 9 Market.
Tell mom and dad about the Makers Blessing Attack program.
From 0552 222 253 and 0552 222 254. Terms and conditions apply.
The same got to move.
Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. And it's time to check out what's trending on social media with Desi. What are you covering on your head?
Oh, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm not well. I'm not fine.
Oh.
Yeah. The dam spillage, the effects of the spillages.
Yeah.
It makes me sick.
Yeah. I could only imagine.
Yeah. Anytime I think about it, it makes me sick.
And as I had the conversation earlier about everybody coming together to help do that. So don't worry, we can also help others in this situation. And so, Doc, on social media this morning, the Gamania is trending. The way Doc do.
My people.
What's happening?
There's some people have gone to court. No, when I was little, our basketball team at Tudu, Lebanon, was called My People.
My People?
Yeah, so my uncles played and coached that basketball team.
My People?
My People. That was the name of our team, My People.
So, we saw the pictures, so, the rate, that's it, right? Yeah, that there is an
injunction.
An injunction on the funeral. I was trying to get the pronunciation of the name because him idea. Mamboni, I was trying to make sure.
Okay, just say Gamanya.
Gamanya, I'm okay. Okay, yeah. So she's trending number 1 on Twitter right now. A lot of people are reacting to the fact that funeral rights, there's an injunction placed on it. We'll see how that will pan out in the coming days. And of course, Justice Atuguba also being in the news for some of the things that he's been saying. A lot of people have been talking about like, hey, that's crazy though. But just before we go, because there's not so much time, Prempeh College. So just last week that a lot of people were called to the bar. They said they are seeking redress. They may have to seek redress because the NSMQ quiz mistress Dudan Yawa. That was a question that was correct. And it wasn't.
They believe the answer was correct.
They believe the answer was correct.
Okay.
And so, if not for that, Opoko wouldn't have been able to beat them. They would have been in the final, rather.
Okay.
So they've written a long.
Who signed it? He's an old boy.
Oh, he make busy.
Okay.
Make busy. They do campaign.
Okay.
So he wouldn't be able to sign it.
Okay.
Unless they read.
All right.
And they'll do that. So basically, that's what's been trending on social media. Met a lot of other things. But of course, Saturday we are having the Metro Pain Clinic. We're doing breast cancer screening, free for everybody. And so do come to the University of Ghana, that is Dr. Hilali Hall. Come there and be part of this on Saturday, 28th October, and be part of this free health screening, HIV test, NHI card registration, all of that will be happening at the Dr. Hilali Hall. And they say, feel the boobs. So come. Oh, Doc.
What did you say?
It's on the flyer.
What is it?
Feel the boobs.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what they've written under the pink clinic.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not okay for the ladies, they will feel it themselves, and also the doctors will feel it for them.
Okay.
Not, Tornado Day has been feeling from home.
Okay.
Yeah. So come around on Saturday and be a part of this.
Dr. Vansago, money. Money.
What did you say?
I was greeting Dr. Vance Ago.
Oh.
You know him?
Oh, I know him. Good one is that? How do you do that?
They said you should do it.
They've written on the flyer, feel the boobs.
Okay.
It's been written on the flyer. It don't be me the talk. It's there.
Feel the Bridget. For those who are wondering, Bridget Totu has just entered the studio. I'll send you my regards to her husband.
I don't hear so. That's it for the trends today. I'll be back to wrap up the week.
Okay.
But I saw you.
She was sitting on there, didn't wear a life jacket.
Hey. Okay. Oh, she knows swim. She knows swim.
You swim in that thing? My friend. Anyway, so I'll see you.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Up next, Metro Sport.